Life has a way of shattering us when we least expect it. One moment we feel unstoppable, and the next we find ourselves questioning everything. Pain, heartbreak, failure, they make us wonder, why am I even alive? But let me tell you something. If you are breathing, if your heart is still beating, there is a reason for your existence. And that reason is far greater than the suffering you have endured. So the next time you ask yourself, why am I even alive? Remember this, you are alive because you are meant to be. You are alive because your story is not finished. You are alive because the world needs you. Stand tall, keep moving forward, and never ever forget, you matter. Pain is one of the most inevitable and defining experiences of life. It comes in many forms. Physical, emotional, and psychological. It arrives unannounced, shaking our very foundation, making us question our strength, our purpose, and sometimes even our existence. But what we often fail to realize in those moments of despair is that pain is not the end of our story. It is in fact the beginning. It is the catalyst for transformation, the fire that shapes us, the force that pushes us toward growth. When we encounter pain, our first instinct is to resist it. We want to run away, escape, or numb it. We ask, why me? We look at others who seem to be living happy and effortless lives and wonder why we were chosen for suffering. But the truth is, pain is not a punishment. It is a teacher. It is not a barrier. It is a bridge. The greatest lessons in life are not learned in moments of comfort, but in moments of struggle. Pain forces us to pause, to reflect, and to confront the deepest parts of ourselves. It strips away our illusions and reveals who we truly are. Think of the strongest people you know, the ones who inspire you, who radiate resilience, who stand tall despite the storms they have faced. Do you think they became that way by avoiding pain? No. They became strong because they endured. They faced heartbreak, failure, rejection, and loss, yet they did not let it define them. Instead, they allowed pain to shape them, to carve out new versions of themselves, to help them rise from the ashes of their past. Pain has a way of breaking us open, but in that breaking, something extraordinary happens. We begin to see ourselves differently. We start to understand what truly matters. We discover strength we never knew existed. If you have ever experienced deep pain, you know that it changes you. You are never the same afterward. But the question is, do you let it destroy you or do you let it build you? Every scar, every wound, every hardship you have endured is proof that you survived. It is proof that you are capable of enduring more than you ever imagined. And if you have survived the pain of yesterday, what makes you think you won't survive today? The problem is not the pain itself, it is our perception of it. We see it as the end, when in reality, it is the beginning of a new chapter. Pain is also a great equalizer. It does not discriminate. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you have achieved, you will face pain at some point in life. But what sets people apart is how they respond to it. Some let it consume them, while others use it as fuel to move forward. The most inspiring stories are those of people who turned their pain into purpose, who took their suffering and used it to help others. Because when you go through pain, you gain something invaluable. Empathy. You understand what it feels like to struggle, to feel lost, to hurt, and that understanding allows you to connect with others in a way nothing else can. So, the next time pain comes knocking on your door, don't see it as the end of the road. See it as a beginning of self-discovery, of growth, of strength you never knew you had. Because pain is not meant to stop you, it is meant to prepare you. It is the fire that forges warriors, the storm that builds unshakable spirits, the force that turns ordinary people into extraordinary souls. And if you embrace it, rather than fear it, you will realize that pain is not the enemy, it is the path to your greatest transformation. Struggles are often seen as barriers, obstacles that stand in the way of the life we desire. We fight them, we resist them, and sometimes we break under their weight. But what if struggles are not meant to break us, but to build us? What if every hardship we face is shaping us into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of ourselves? The truth is, struggles are not a sign of weakness. They are a testament to us. Every challenge, every difficulty, and every setback we encounter carries within it the seed of growth. It is in the moments of our greatest struggles that we discover who we truly are. Life has a way of testing us in ways we never expected. Sometimes it feels like everything is falling apart, like no matter how hard we try, we just cannot catch a break. We face rejection, loss, failure, heartbreak, and disappointment. We question our worth, our abilities, and even our purpose. It is easy to feel defeated, to believe that the struggle is too much to bear. But if we look closer, we realize that every great story of triumph was first a story of struggle. The strongest people we admire today did not have an easy path. They faced hardships that pushed them to their limits, but instead of giving up, they chose to rise. Struggles force us to grow in ways we never would if life were easy. They teach us patience when things do not go our way. They teach us resilience when we feel like giving up. They teach us courage when we are afraid to take the next step. Struggles push us beyond our comfort zones, making us realize that we are far more capable than we ever imagined. Without struggles, there would be no growth. Without challenges, there would be no transformation. If everything came easily, we would never know our true potential. Think about the most difficult moments in your life. At the time, they felt unbearable. They may have broken you, made you cry, made you question everything. But now, looking back, you can see how those struggles shaped you. You are not the same person you were before. You are stronger, wiser, and more aware of what truly matters. Struggles have a way of stripping away the unnecessary, forcing us to focus on what is real. They show us who our true friends are, what our real priorities should be, and what kind of person we want to become. The most powerful thing about struggles is that they teach us empathy. When we go through pain, we learn to understand the pain of others. We become more compassionate, more willing to help, more open to connection. Our struggles make us human. They remind us that we are all fighting battles, that no one has a perfect life, and that strength is not about never falling. It is about always getting back up. It is easy to envy people who seem to have it all, who appear to move through life effortlessly. But what we do not see is their struggles. Everyone has them. No one is exempt. The difference is how they choose to face them, while others use them as stepping stones to something greater. The choice is always ours. So instead of seeing struggles as the enemy, we can choose to see them as teachers. We can choose to embrace them, to learn from them, and to allow them to mold us into the person we are meant to be. Because in the end, struggles are not signs of failure. They are signs of growth, of transformation, of strength. They are proof that we are still here, still fighting, still moving forward. And that in itself is the greatest victory. From the moment we open our eyes to the world, we are taught to seek approval. As children, we are rewarded for behaving a certain way, praised when we meet expectations, and corrected when we deviate from the norm. This conditioning follows us into adulthood, where we find ourselves constantly chasing validation from our parents, teachers, friends, society, and even strangers. We shape our choices based on what others think, measuring our worth by their acceptance. But the truth is, no matter how much approval we gain, it will never be enough if we do not first approve of ourselves. Seeking validation is a never-ending cycle, a race with no finish line. There will always be someone who disagrees with us, someone who thinks we are not good enough, someone who expects more, and if we live our lives trying to meet their expectations, we will never truly live for ourselves. The need for approval often stems from fear, the fear of rejection, of being misunderstood, of standing alone. We want to belong, to be loved, to feel accepted. And while there is nothing wrong with wanting connection, the danger lies in losing ourselves in the process. When we constantly change who we are to fit into someone else's idea of perfection, we silence our own voice. We suppress our true desires, dreams, and identities just to be liked. But the price of approval is often too high, costing us our authenticity, our peace, and our happiness. Think about how much energy is wasted worrying about what others think. We hesitate before speaking, fearing judgment. We second-guess our decisions, wondering if they will be approved. We hold back from pursuing our dreams, scared of failure in the eyes of the world. But the truth is, people will always have opinions, no matter what we do. If we follow one path, someone will criticize it. If we choose another, someone else will question it. The reality is that we cannot please everyone, and the more we try, the more we lose ourselves. There is incredible freedom in realizing that we do not need permission to be who we are. We do not need applause to validate our worth. We do not need to fit into a mold to be accepted. We are enough just as we are, without approval, without validation, without trying to prove anything. When we stop seeking approval, we gain something far more valuable: self-acceptance. And self-acceptance is the foundation of true confidence. It is knowing that our worth does not come from external praise, but from within. When we embrace who we are unapologetically and wholeheartedly, we attract the right people into our lives. The ones who love us for our truth, not for a version we created to please them. We start making decisions based on what feels right for us, not on what others expect. We begin to live authentically without the constant burden of worrying about judgment. And in doing so, we inspire others to do the same. It is not arrogance to believe you are enough. It is not selfish to put your own happiness above external approval. It is a necessity. Life is too short to waste on proving yourself to people who may never see your worth. The only validation that truly matters is your own. Because at the end of the day, when you look in the mirror, the only person you need to answer to is yourself. So stand tall, embrace your flaws, follow your dreams, and live. You are enough. Not because someone says so, but because you always have been. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in life. It has the ability to shift perspectives, transform struggles into lessons, and bring light into the darkest moments. Yet in the rush of daily life, it is often overlooked. People chase after what they do not have, constantly striving for more, believing that happiness lies somewhere in the future. But the truth is, real happiness is not found in having everything. It is found in appreciating what is already here. Gratitude is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending that life is perfect. It is about choosing to focus on the blessings that exist, even in the midst of hardship. Life is unpredictable. Some days bring joy, while others bring pain. There are moments of success and moments of failure, times of celebration and times of loss. But no matter what happens, there is always something to be grateful for. Even in the face of adversity, gratitude allows us to find meaning and strength. It reminds us that challenges are not the end of the road, but stepping stones toward growth. It shifts our mindset from "why is this happening to me?" to "what can I learn from this?" The mind has a natural tendency to focus on what is lacking. It is easy to dwell on problems, to complain about what is wrong, to compare our lives to others and feel like we are missing out. But when we consciously practice gratitude, we train our minds to see abundance instead of scarcity. We start noticing the simple joys, a sunrise, a kind word, a moment of laughter. We begin to appreciate the people in our lives, the opportunities we have, and even the lessons that come from struggles. This shift in focus does not just change how we feel emotionally, it also impacts our overall well-being. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude reduces stress, improves mental health, strengthens relationships, and even boosts physical health. One of the most beautiful things about gratitude is that it is not dependent on circumstances. It is a choice. There are people who have everything yet still feel empty, and there are those who have very little but radiate joy. The difference is perspective. Gratitude is not about waiting for life to be perfect. It is about finding beauty in imperfection. It teaches us to celebrate small victories, to cherish the present, and to realize that happiness is not something we chase, it is something we cultivate. Difficult times test our ability to be grateful, but they are also when gratitude is most powerful. When faced with loss, it helps us cherish the memories and appreciate the time we had. When experiencing failure, it reminds us of the lessons that will help us grow. When going through pain, it shows us the strength we never knew we had. Gratitude does not erase challenges, but it gives us the resilience to face them with a heart that still sees hope. Practicing gratitude does not mean ignoring reality or pretending that problems do not exist. It means acknowledging difficulties while still recognizing the good. It means waking up each day and choosing to focus on what we have rather than what we lack. It means understanding that every moment, good or bad, is part of the journey, and each experience adds depth to our lives. Gratitude is not just an emotion, it is a way of living. It is a mindset that transforms the ordinary into extraordinary, turns obstacles into opportunities, and makes even the simplest moments feel like miracles. When we shift our focus from ourselves to others, we begin to see life through a different lens. Service is not just about giving, it is about discovering the deeper meaning of our existence. It is in lifting others that we rise, in healing others that we heal, and in bringing hope that we find our own. True fulfillment does not come from what we achieve for ourselves, but from the impact we create in the lives of others. So, if you ever feel lost, if you ever question your purpose, remember this. Someone, somewhere needs what only you can give. Your kindness, your strength, your story, your compassion. The world is waiting, and your purpose is found in the difference you make. You are not here by accident. Your life is not a mistake. Every breath you take is proof that your story is still being written. No matter what you have been through, no matter how lost or broken you may feel, there is a reason you are alive. There are dreams you are meant to chase, lives you are meant to touch, and moments of joy you are yet to experience. The world needs your light, your voice, your unique presence. So stand tall, embrace your journey, and never doubt your worth. You are alive for a reason. Live that reason fully and fearlessly.